Talking about branding. Yeah!
Yay! I fucked it up again.
Hey, everybody. Again, thank you. Welcome back to Streamer and Troll. So nice to have you. As always, we want to welcome everybody in. My name is ZellowSmart2. I'm the humble host for today. Next up, we have Sidious67, the
Hello.
ultimate engineer of the show.
The one that fails every single episode. I failed on
No.
this one
Not
too.
true.
I forgot to unmute you guys. I forgot.
No!
Wait, was that first part muted?
Just a tad, a fraction of it. I'm sorry. One of these days I will get it right. I promise I will. I'm so stressed out.
Oh, I love streamer problems. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about
Hashtag
next up we have-
streamer problem.
it. And next up, we have Des Westmouse, our artiste extraordinaire. How are you, Des?
I have a bit of a headache.
Oh no! Hopefully you've got drugs and you've taken.
I have taken a handful of drugs.
There we go. There we go. See, drugs are the best. Kids, if you got headaches, use drugs like Tylenol and ibuprofen. They do.
I'm
they
not
do
allowed to use
wondrous
ibuprofen
things.
right now
Why not? Oh.
because of my
Okay.
potential concussion.
Oh.
You're not supposed to use
no.
ibuprofen
Ooh.
and aspirin if you have a concussion, so I'm keeping it safe and only using acetaminophen.
Okay. Okay.
Just
You're
in
using-
case.
You're using
Still-
the decaf version.
Yeah,
of-
using the decaf version of pain
painkillers.
meds. Just in case.
I hear you. I hear you. So again, today we are going to be talking about the wonderful world of branding. I know that we all have had different experiences with branding, and where it's kind of gone with our streaming careers and things like that. And
Whether you know it or not, if you're streaming on Twitch, you're branding yourself.
oh, that is true. That is true. And there's a different number of different brands that we we're doing some research here recently, looking at folks whose branding is very minimalistic. Some folks who brands are very very detailed and intrinsic, and some folks whose brands are a little bit out there, but seem to be kind of the hot thing right now. So figured the first things we would do is we would talk about our individual experiences with our own personal brands since we've been on Twitch. So let's see. Let's start with Des today.
Des?
Uh-oh.
In
Hot
your
spot.
in your streaming career, where has branding taken you?
It's taken me a lot of places. No, so nailing my branding was actually one of the easier things I did, or at least getting a central theme I wanted to stick with, right? Like I know I wanted the mouse. The mouse has been a central part of it since the beginning, because I started streaming after my inauguration into the Moss family.
Okay.
Or so Moss, M-A-U-S, the mouse part of my username is actually my in-laws' last name.
Okay.
And so that's the family, and the family has a very heavy mouse theme. My father-in-law's name is Mickey Mouse.
Really?
Yes, his name is Mickey Mouse.
How
And
much
so
has he talked about the battle that his childhood must have been?
my father-in-law is a born salesman, Zealous. You and my father-in-law would love to shoot the shit. Like, you guys
Oh,
could
cool.
probably, like, I think you'd have a great time talking to him. But he's just like born salesman, so I think he like super leaned into this. He's like, whatever makes me memorable, whatever makes me seem more
Right.
charming. Like I'm owning it, right? So he
Right.
owns the Mickey Mouse thing.
Okay.
And so upon my inauguration into this family, choosing the mouse as a theme was so easy, right? Like,
Right.
all right, this is a built-in theme, right? I thought I was going to go a different direction because my name is Destiny. I thought, oh, Tiny Mouse. That would be funny, right? Because Tiny is built into my first name. And I'm also smaller than a lot of people.
How does Destiny and Tiny Stream fit together? I don't understand.
Des Tiny.
Tiny.
Just Tiny.
Des
Ah.
Tiny.
Come on, Zealous. Keep up.
I was trying to make word puns, right? I'm trying to make these puns. And so, like, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be the Tiny Mouse. Well, no, that's not going to work out because I ended up smushing my name together. Des was Mouse, right? Like,
Mhm.
I just ended up being different because it sounds fun, sounds slightly foreign, but it sounds, I don't know, it's ended up being pretty memorable for people.
Yeah.
But the mouse was really easy. Once I had the mouse, a lot of stuff just ended up being a lot easier to kind of click together. And then my branding has also been heavily influenced on my desire to make coloring books and illustrations. And so a lot of my channel's thematic overlays are based on the coloring book I've put together and just other illustrations.
Okay.
Cool.
But I like having a mouse as a little mascot. He's cute.
So with that being the case too, I know that you've talked recently quite a bit on your channel that you've got a move coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and with that move, you've been kind of paring down and really wanting to focus more on specific, where you've kind of been very generic, very broad on your art techniques and things that you
Mm-hmm.
portray on your channel that you've been thinking of paring down. And
Yes.
how is that? How is that? How much of that is just one? I got too much stuff to move. Get it out of the house. And how much of that has been very much like brand, like say I need to narrow my focus and really focus on the branding aspect.
I would say they're a little hand in hand. Because when you think of Des and she makes art, I don't think anybody thinks necessarily anything super specific other than like and unfortunately in the art world to get work, not having that specific thing that you're known for can be really detrimental to getting a larger clientele. Being a jack of all trades is great as a teacher. It's excellent. When you're teaching art, having your hands in a lot of different pots is awesome. However, when you are trying to be a professional artist, being known for one thing is going to get you a much higher chance of customers,
Okay.
because then they're going to be like, Des, she does X, right? And she
Right.
does this. And so that creating something synonymous with your name has a huge impact on your reach. And
Okay.
so I have definitely been looking into what is my focus? What do I want it to be? And absolutely, you're right. Nail on the head. I've got way too many things to pack and move. And so I'm like, what can I get rid of? Because so we're moving from Bloomington, Indiana to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is not in itself that terribly different than moving across town if you have a tight lease to lease start and end date, but it's
Right.
still really like intimidating because
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lot of things.
Any move
And-
is pretty intimidating, and it just by
Mhm.
itself,
Right. And so
then
I've
on
just
top
been
of
staring at a lot
yourself.
of. Yeah. Yeah. Sid knows. Sid's moved multi states before.
Mhm.
Sid and Titch have, I know. Um, and so like I'm just thinking, where do I actually want to be spending my time and effort? Where am I spreading myself too thin? Where do I want to get stronger at? And I think that these concerns are relatable probably in a lot of facets on
Right.
when you think about what do you want to focus on with your channel, what do you want to be like, what do you want to be known for,
Mhm.
So I would say how this relates to my branding is that when somebody watches my channel, what do they expect to happen? I would say so far my strength is that people just seem to like Des. They like the weird time that is Des talking to herself while she makes any number of art things and also tends to like destroy her desk by dropping something or spilling something, right? So like my innate clumsiness has endeared me to the masses. And so like that seems to be the only common like branding I really have right now. But I just I envy the channels who I feel like are really strong in what they stand for. So one of my favorite channels, all he does is sculpting. It's all he
Mhm.
does. sculpting. Once in a while, he throws a game stream in just to be like, I don't feel like sculpting today, but here I'll talk to you guys while I'm gaming. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
and it feels like his audience, his fans, it's a very cohesive because they're all really interested in sculpting, right? I find at least I don't think I have a strong enough personality to have a cult following.
What?
Oh,
What?
you know what I mean? But that does not feel like it. You have to do. You have to be like so strong in your personality that you almost get like a cult following on Twitch.
Well, but see, you just mentioned you had. See, I don't. That's I don't agree because you just mentioned that you have people who hang out
Right.
because of deaths.
Because
Yeah,
of
but
death.
Des invests in those
Yeah.
people too. Like I don't get a ton of viewership from people who I'm not usually talking to outside of stream.
I mean, honestly, the way I see it, I think a cult following and a community are very, very thin lines with each other. So, I mean,
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
so, I mean, yeah, you've got a cult following.
It's
Fair
amazing.
enough.
It seems like it's the same thing,
Exactly.
which also ties into folks. By the way, folks who are listening to this in podcast format, we are streaming live on Twitch, and we had a comment here from one of our viewers, Tamer, who says, "Hi. The real question is, anyone ever normal?"
Well, I think the first part is understanding the definition of normal, which, honestly, to be norm, the same. You don't in the world of branding, you don't want to be that. I mean, you want to stick out.
Yeah.
You don't. And
You don't want to be homogenous.
And honestly,
Nobody watches Average Joe, the Average Man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also in society, why would you want to be normal anyways? Honestly.
Yeah.
Again, be your individual person. Be the person who you want to be. Be you. Don't be normal. Normal is a concept in mind in society that we feel that we have to follow, but again, to be your true self, you need to break out of that norm.
No, that's the truth.
Absolutely.
That's
And
the
the
truth.
same goes with streaming and branding yourself on Twitch. You want to break out of that norm.
I think one of the best pieces of advice I heard early on from folks who were talking about like getting into streaming was to take the most either extreme or parts that you think are entertaining of yourself and just turn those up to 11. Don't try to be like somebody you're not, but just take those things that are you and just crank that up just a bit more while you're live on stream. And that usually is what grabs people's attention are those parts. So for me, it's taking my filters off and just saying whatever comes to mind, no matter how random or bizarre it is. But it works for me.
Right.
But
and honestly, I talk about being your individual self, and that's a lot harder than done than said, honestly. Because I mean, I fall in that category too. I feel that I don't think I think honestly my personal problem is I don't have enough energy to put out to be different. You know what I mean? I feel like I just do the same thing. I fall in that norm category, and I know it. I understand that. And I just have just because of there's just
I have
things
no idea what you're talking about here.
That's how I feel.
I watched your Resident Evil 8 stream. It was some of the most entertaining
Really?
playthrough of that game I had ever seen.
I felt I was
It was
just
so good.
I thought I was just so tunnel vision on that thing and just like, okay,
No.
we're just gonna get through this. There you go. Okay, well,
No, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dude, Kep and I both were talking about like how mind blowing your Resident Evil 8 streams were because it was so good. It was so good.
I need a critique. Like, what did I do? What did I do?
How did you already get your pizza, Des? You ordered that like 5 minutes ago. What the hell is this? And thank God Gregory's got pants on.
Got pants on this time, yeah.
For those
It
of you
just
who were not privileged enough to be in our voice chat earlier before stream, my husband decided to walk into my office while my camera's on without pants on.
And I told
Gregory Go is better than DoorDash.
I told Des this. He says, I've never seen Gregory's face before, but I've seen his lower half now. So I don't know what that means. I still have never seen his face.
Oh my god. But no, man, it was just, I think it was just how genuine like your reactions were to the characters, the like your knowledge and lore of Resident Evil 7 and then applying it to Resident Evil 8. And being able to make jokes like, oh God, oh, he poured it on his right hand. Holy crap, he poured it on his right hand. This is the first, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Oh well. Okay. I guess I was entertaining on that. Like when I was actually going through that, I was like, okay, I'm just whatever came to my mind just kind of spills out forth from that. So
honestly, it was good.
You
were just in the flow. You were in the flow, man.
All right. Well, I rescind my comment then.
All right. So going. Let's go back. I got one more question for you, Des.
Okay.
And then we'll ask Sid some questions about branding as well.
Sounds good.
So with the move, to focus more on a specific style of art, do you feel like you're still going to be Des Westmouse? Are you thinking it might be time for a brand change?
So one of the things that I had talked about briefly out of stream is that maybe changing my stream name to match my website name, which is Studio West Moss instead of Des West Moss.
Right.
Just so there's some cohesion into my branding. I don't think it's a major problem, but it's definitely something I was considering. And I think it just depends on what kind of push I'm going to decide to make in terms of networking. I know that So I think that networking is really hard and difficult. And
What?
I worry that I've hindered myself in my ability to network because I have lacked some cohesion in these areas.
So are you talking lapse of cohesion just in like the brand name? Or are you talking
Just in what I do and what I offer and what I try to do, if that makes sense.
I may say expand on that a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble
I'm
wrapping my
I'm
head
a little.
around it.
I'm not sure what you mean by not networking and with your brand name and
So
explain.
IRL, quote unquote, I'm a caricaturist.
Right.
I go to festivals and I do caricatures.
Okay.
On the internet, I do emotes and I do panels. But what I also do in another circle is I do animal portraits. And in another circle, I do just other forms of art where I can sell it.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm just not putting my concentration into one area to make it really strong. And instead, I've chosen to be spread a little too thin. And so I'm kind of good at a lot of things instead of really great at one or two things.
Okay, I think I understand. Okay.
Yeah, Kage and chat asked, so do you feel like your online presence is kind of fractured?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it, Kage. As I do feel like my presence is fractured. Is that I'm not giving a clear impression of who Des is, what Des does, and Des is great at it, right?
Well, maybe possibility this move for you will help you find that. It's a definitely because it's forcing you to get out of your normal environment, which is your old house, and going into a new one, and you might find new things to help you along the way with that.
Well, and it's also forced my hand at leaving a full-time position. And so I will be in a term of transition where I will not be required to immediately have a full-time position. And so I can play around with really dedicating myself to my freelance work.
Right.
And my channel and my online presence.
Yeah. And that, I think, will allow you to grow a little bit more within your profession.
Mhm.
I'm hoping.
Well, and also, like I said, I think while branding is really important, trying to get like all your socials and everything onto like a unified brand, I
Hmm.
think is very important for your Twitter, your Instagram, um, TikTok, whatever have you. Which, by the way, do you use which do you use more, Twitter or Instagram, or either? Neither.
I use both,
Okay.
but I have been trying really hard to get more on Twitter because there seem to be more conversations happening on Twitter. Instagram just ends up being a gallery of here's my things.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Right.
but that makes sense because Instagram is primarily a visual.
So
It's a
Instagram can be a
visual.
great
Yeah.
simplistic way to put together a fast portfolio. You're like,
Mm,
hey, I don't have my website handy or we don't have time to go to that, but you know what? Check out my Instagram.
right.
Right.
And that could be a really fast, easy way to get somebody to quick overview of your stuff, right?
Mm,
But Twitter is where conversations are happening.
yeah.
And I have been trying really hard to get a stronger presence on there. And I have looked at the TikToks. The TikToks confuse me.
I understand that.
I think I agree with you. I think the Twitter the Twitter. I think Twitter is a better. I think
The internets.
on the internet, I think the Twitter would be a better place for the networking and because that is more that you're right. It's more communication on that
Mhm.
and conversing with each other and doing that. So yeah.
I think I also think too have you used TweetDeck, right, Des?
I have used it, but it takes a lot of time to do preparatory work.
Yeah.
And so I
You
just
got
haven't had the drive to put in that because it's a big chunk of time up front. And you have to
yeah.
put it in regularly. You have to be like, every Sunday I'm gonna set up my tweets for the whole week.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that faction of it. I'm talking about following hashtags.
Oh yeah. I'm not good at that either.
So TweetDeck, is it TweetDeck? Let me check here real quick. TweetDeck.
Feedback is traditionally where you send out tweets from.
Uh, uh, so TweetDeck also has ability for you to select specific hashtags to follow.
Mm.
So if you were gonna do like watercolor, you could say follow hashtag watercolor, and it'll have everybody who does watercolors. If you do like oil paint, it'll be oil paint. So it'd be whatever people are doing. You can follow those specific hashtags, and one of the best ways you can network is when people release something on those hashtags would be to comment on their art, get people to notice
Yes.
you all the
Yes.
time, and then hopefully that they will follow you. They should follow you back once they get a little bit compelled on you helping support their brand. But I also think that the Studio Westmouse website would be a great way, like if you still wanted to dabble in like your clay, like your clay works.
Yeah.
I still think even if you decide, hey, maybe I don't stream this, maybe I focus more on this specific style of art for streaming,
Yeah.
that a Studio Westmouse can still be a display of all of your products that you're
Yeah.
interested in and that you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. All right, we'll let you get on to your vegan pizza.
I'm really hungry. Sorry.
It's
That's
okay.
okay. And we'll turn the Eye of Sauron over to Sid.
I
Shit.
hadn't eaten since 10:30 and I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm suddenly so hungry."
Well, eat away. Eat away.
Uh, so Sid,
Yes.
we know that you've gone through a couple different branding changes
At
since
least
your beginnings on Twitch.
at least two. At least two.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've also had some branding you may not have thought about, because I remember we were talking earlier today. You had mentioned that you started out on console
Hmm.
and going in through an external Elgato into your computer and streaming through that. And I imagine that that particular style of gameplay, where you were mentioning like there was lag problems and things,
Right.
and it was some of that, whether we like it or not, could have been part of the brand. And as you upgraded into better devices, better products for streaming, that also just improved brand quality.
Well, and then my brand kind of like, and it still is as of right now. It's kind of morphing and transitioning into what I'm doing. I don't really have. I'm kind of in the same. Well, a little bit behind Des in the boat, but almost in the same boat where I don't really have a pinpoint focus on what I
Okay.
do. I mean, what I mean by like Des is a little bit further ahead of me. At least she's like, she's in the art area, right? I'm kind
Right.
of in the art area. I'm kind of in the video game area. I'm all over the place. I've been known as a jack of all trades, master of none. So
Right.
and even in my job, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I've been trained on like for my job. For those of you who don't know, I work in the neuro the neuro surgery industry, and I am my
GPS for
title.
surgery.
GPS for surgery. My actual title is basically jack of all trades because I do a lot of maintenance work on a lot of machines, different machines, whether it be Globus, Zeiss, Monteris, Stryker, those companies and stuff like that. But I do have a main focus of a navigational aspect. But I'm able to actually fix other machineries and get basically like I said, I'm a medical IT type of guy.
Yeah.
So even in that, I have like this whole variety of things that I do, and my persona, anyways, is very very what I call video game ADD. So I'm like, oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I never. I think I don't remember who mentioned it, but it's like, hey, thank you so much for the host, Sidious67, person that I've never seen play the same game twice in one stream.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's a pain I
okay,
know all too well.
yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, that's cool. So, but yeah, I mean, I literally kind of, my streams are very spontaneous in the focus of what I'm doing. It's basically like, what do I feel like playing today?
Mhm.
So yeah, my brand has gone through several different metamorphi throughout the years. When I first started, I did start on console. I started on the PlayStation 3 before the 4 came out, and it was like through Destiny. And this was also before that I was like, oh, I'm going to be all over the place. I thought I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Destiny player, and this is what I'm going to be doing. It's like, all
Right.
the PUBG players are PUBG players, all the League of Legends players are League of Legends players. I'm going to be a Destiny player. And then it just
Okay.
kind of branched out from that, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with Destiny. I don't want to play this anymore. And I had a little bit of a following, and I just started going into the variety route.
Right.
At the time, I don't think I had a logo. And
Okay.
I did have a no. I did have a logo, but it was very very. It was Sid's Games, and that was like the whole thing that I started out with was Sid's Games, and then throughout the years, up until the Sea of Thieves era, I was kind of noticing that like I don't really use the term Sid's Games very often.
Right.
And so it was kind of a brand. It was SG was like that was my logo. SG was my logo. That I remember, and I had that for a very very long time. And I was like, people don't understand what the G stands for because I never really mentioned Sid's Games. So
Right.
I was like, okay, well maybe I should start dropping Sid's Games. Even through the Sea of Thieves era, I think I still had Sid's Games up.
Now,
Through
was
that.
the Sea of Thieves, was that the second round of branding?
That was the second round of branding where I started doing like, because again, my mind was going, okay, this is something I can latch on to, Sea of Thieves. And for a while I did, and I was like, okay, I'll do this whole pirate theme, and I still have right now, I still have all of my pirate emotes and stuff like that. I'm very very slow at transitioning. So, but yeah, so I changed my persona, not my persona, but my focus on the pirating things. I changed the way I did my streams. Anytime there was a subscription, I would do a sea shanty. roll the old chariot out, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I do miss it, but I want to do something similar to that in the future, but not necessarily a sea shanty. And then now, when Twitch Sings came out, again, I was like, I'm not doing the Sea of Thieves thing anymore. I'm really getting to Twitch Sings. And then I transitioned into the Twitch Sings, which was the Crooners Club. The Crooners Club, because I was starting to get really popular with all the dated material, music material with that. And then Twitch Sings was like, we're not going to do Twitch Sings anymore. And I'm like,
Yep.
Damn it.
Out.
Damn it. I can't win. So right now I'm kind of like in the middle of the Crooners Club right now and trying to figure out where my niche is. Niche.
I like
my
niche.
forte.
Niche sounds better.
Like quiche. Yeah, I like quiche.
Like quiche, yeah.
But yeah, that's where I am right now. So it's just, right now, if you can see in my background, well, for those of you at home can see it, it's just Sidious, and then I have a logo now. So that's my new logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's
I like
how
the
I've been
new
kind of
logo.
branding myself in that aspect, just using the name and the logo mostly, and just worry about the content as it comes. So.
Yeah.
Also, looks like we have one of your most long-term supporters. Deborah has showed up.
Hello,
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Yeah. We're all a fan of Deb here.
Yep.
Yep.
At
Deb is
Streamer
super
Troll.
mod.
So yeah, that's a brief history of my
Okay.
progress, I guess you could say.
So with so it sounds like with you having a couple of transitions, from going from the Sea of Thieves into the pre-Twitch Sings, was it just you just weren't having fun with Sea of Thieves and you felt like moving on to something else? Was it like what inspired that transition to start playing other stuff? Or is it just a general like I gotta play different games?
As much as I lie to myself, I keep thinking I'm going to find that one game where this is how my mind works, right? This is just in the back of my head that I'm going to find that one game where I'm going to play that for the rest of my life.
Right.
Wow. You have
That's also kind of the reason why I have such a bad library of games. I have over 1,000 games on my Steam, and I'm looking for that one game where I'm going to be like this is going to be my game. And honest, I'll tell you outright, Outriders. I thought Outriders was going to be it too, and then every time I latch onto these games, things happen. They don't do well. The games don't do well. They're not as what I expected. Cyberpunk was going to be another one that I thought.
Yeah,
I thought Cyberpunk was going to be my game. Cyberpunk fucking trashed and burned into that. What was the other one? I was thinking.
My game is timeless. It's Left 4 Dead.
And I think Left 4 Dead went way back when. I thought that was the one all be all game that I was going to be playing, and I know I'm lying to myself because I'm never going to find that game. That's never going to happen. But I keep searching for that one game, and so that's the whole thing of me switching brands. I don't like switching brands very often because I feel that if you do that, you're gonna lose traction. You're gonna lose people, and I mean, and it's true, because some people are there for the game that you play.
Yeah.
But the one thing I've never changed is my name. And I know I've met some people who've changed their names multiple times. So what does Twitch allow? Like a 6-month period?
Yeah,
I think every 6 months you can change your name on Twitch. And I know a person that does that, and they don't have any viewers because no one knows who they are anymore.
You change your name, yeah.
Right, and
like, when did I start following this person? Unfollow.
Right.
Yeah.
I do that too. Like I'll look through my name list and go, who is this? You know, it'll pop up on there and go, who is this person? And then like I won't unfollow them outright. I'll actually go and check them out if they're live and stuff and go and try to remember who they are, because and if I remember, like, oh, okay, now I know who this is too now, and I'll keep it. But if I have no idea who this person is, yeah, unfortunately I do unfollow them because I don't know who they are anymore. So I think that's a very keeping your name, unless you're very 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 unhappy with your name.
Yeah.
Keep your name, but you know, until you find that name, I feel like keep the name you have until you figure out the name that you want. Don't just keep switching your name up over and over and over again, because you'll fall into that category.
I've bumped into a few people in some of the networking discords I'm on that are changing their name all the time, and it's a similar frustration of like, okay,
who are you?
All right, well yeah, who are you?
That's the first problem.
Or you go and you check out their page, and it's just like, it's like, okay, everything reads radically different, but but it's still they haven't changed anything about their show.
Right. They've just changed the name.
That's yeah, and if you start doing those kind of changes, well, then the name and the brand doesn't, is completely ineffectual.
It's an all or nothing thing. It really is, because I mean, you can change your name as much as you want, but if you're still putting out the same product,
yeah, you haven't changed anything.
Exactly. You're just another Activision.
You're just another Activision. Oh my God.
Please don't sue me, Activision.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll sue us. I don't think they'll sue us.
No. But yeah, I believe, I mean, I've always wanted to drop the 6-7 from my name and just go by Sidious. But I feel that people just associate those numbers to my name now. I mean, it's been long enough that I don't think I'll ever.
And Sidious is still taken, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't checked. Yeah. So like if I'm going on video games and stuff, and I have like oh, select your character name, I won't put the 6-7 on there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But
I think that makes sense.
That's the only thing I don't do.
Well, you're missing out on an opportunity to be a completely math-themed channel and just make "Why was 6 afraid of 7" jokes constantly.
I don't know. That's why it's 6 afraid of 7.
7, 8, 9.
What?
Oh,
no! He's blown away.
Boom, 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 boom. You get some like dubstep in here. Boom, 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 boom.
And then images of you like your 6 and 7 battling.
I'll have to find it. Someone made a YouTube video of that joke. And
really?
it's like hard action, like accusatory, like, hey, so the word's going around that people are afraid of you, 9. or 7, or like 7. Yes, if people are afraid of you, 7. What's going on? And it like the whole video is like played down like the old, like kind of like Dexter. It's a little bit like that. It's fun. I'll have to find that and I'll post it in our chat if I'm able to find it.
Please do.
I just remember coming across it. It was the most hilarious thing.
Well, Des, did you have any questions for Sid on his branding and? We will change your name. We will find you and we will watch you.
No, I think Sid's done a great job crafting a community around his theme. I liked the Crooners Club when you came up with it. I've known you at least that long.
And I still enjoy the idea of the Crooners Club. It's just that we're not allowed to karaoke on freaking Twitch. We're not allowed to do it.
Right. So it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, and then Twitch took that Twitch Sings away from us, and so it kind of doesn't make sense. But I mean, I'm as of right now, I'm still keeping the Crooners Club until I can figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well then.
So Zealous.
I will ask. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey,
Tell
what's
us,
going on there, Sid? How you
from
doing?
what I understand, is you've gone through several changes, metamorphosized
Oh
from
yeah,
a
your brand has
caterpillar.
changed drastically, right?
Oh
From
Over the
yeah,
years.
God.
I think you've
Let me
actually
tell
talked
you,
about this a little bit before too, but go ahead.
the 500 times I've changed my branding. No, no. So my experience with branding is, I guess, has been somewhat different from y'all's. I kind of when I was getting started, like when I was getting started to stream, um, I really was researching a lot on, what makes a successful stream. I was watching
Yeah.
a lot of how-to Twitch vids, and these were when the how-to Twitch vids were very in their infancy, about 3 years ago. And a lot of the stuff I had was you really kind of got to figure out who are you gonna be.
Hmm.
If you're not gonna stream a solo game, and I empathize entirely with you, Sid, in the fact that I know that there's going to be really no perfect game for me. There's going to be games
Yes.
I enjoy
That
playing that
that's
I'll
my
play.
white whale that I've been chasing for a long, long time.
Oh my god.
But so I knew I wouldn't be tying myself to a specific game,
Hmm.
and well, which was really was the case until Twitch Sings.
Right.
Um, so what I really focused on was a lot more on who do I want to be on stream, and with that being the case, I was like, okay, I believe I'm a little funny, so I want to turn my joke meter to 11.
Hmm.
I care about people, and I really want people to do well and be well, so I need to be empathetic when I'm on stream, and and wish people the best. I don't like judging people, so I'm going to be really welcoming. Anybody can come in, and we'll talk with them a little bit. It's one of the ways that I've turned some trolls into semi regulars. They're still a bit trolly, but we have fun with it. Um,
We don't know anything about trolling here.
no, no, no trolling. What?
Trolling.
Um, but it really was. I took a lot of time just to say, kind of who do I want to be on stream, because I realized with me not sticking to a specific game that I would have to make the show basically be carried on my personality.
Right.
Hmm.
And then with that being the case, I had some decisions of like okay, there's gonna be a lot of guys like me, which is, to be blunt about it, I was like, there's a lot of fat guys who are a little funny that play video games. I was like, what's one way visually that I can instantly stand out and make people pay attention? And I was like,
And
Hawaiian shirts.
that's where you came up with the bukkake or the
That's
dukake.
right. That's right. I came up with the Dukaki,
Dukake.
Mountain Dew Dukakis all day. Uh, but no, so that's where I kind of was at, and my brand and my show has changed a bit. I have been bringing in a little bit more, or not really bringing in. How do I want to phrase this? Like, I've always had like a slight subtext of lewd, like lewd humor and jokes on my stream, and every so often I've just really kind of played into it or lean into it a little bit more now, depending on the game I'm playing, without being like too over the top or gratuitous.
Hmm.
Um, as far as like the visual look of my stream and my emotes and things like that, those have basically been the same for the past 3 years. You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of it kind of specifically because I don't want like the I just want that to be window dressing. Like the visual of what's going on really doesn't it's just window dressing. Like I said, just it's not really, it's there because you kind of have to have it, but it's not really the show.
Hmm.
We also
But
had
but
someone
honestly, but honestly, do you have to have it? I think we should probably put that in another discussion at another time, like the dressing of your stream, maybe.
I like ranch.
You like what? Ranch? You like ranch?
Ranch dressing is good.
All right.
It's not very opaque to be able to see through.
Yeah.
A sesame
Now,
ginger vinaigrette is also good.
Balsamic vinegar is a favorite, and oil.
We do like talking about our dressings on this channel. I'm a big fan of French.
French dressing, okay.
Yep.
Thousand Island.
Old school. Well, Thousand Island's good on hamburgers.
Hamburgers, yes. And possible streams.
Back to the branding part though. I do also have some things I put in that are very much memes or jokes that I thought would be funny. In chat, Ray Frost mentioned the exclamation point run, which is there's a meme where I forget the name of the song, but it basically has a spot where it's like a little bit lead up, then it goes run, hits like a hard bass, blah 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 blah, and I've just committed. Like, since I put that in my stream as a command where that audio comes on, I literally have committed to just running full force away from the camera, which seems counterintuitive, but it's also, what can I say? People seem to love it. They also seem to love it when they can really troll me with it. And, people have timers set up at times where it's like every hour on the dot, boom, run.
It used to trigger me so hard when people would do it at the wrong time. In my mind, it was the wrong time, and I was
like, that was a better time.
I would have the command set up in your stream, and I'm waiting for that perfect moment to hit enter and execute that command, and someone would do it before me, and I'd be like, no. No! Why?
No, but that's true though. But see, that's the part I love about it. That's one of the things I really love about it, is because it generates discussion, it generates drama. The fact that viewers know that there is something that they can do that I'm going to instantly react to, no matter what the hell I'm doing, that we're going to react to it, is, I think, again, adds a point of drama. For me, like when I'm playing a game, I'm like, oh my god, are they gonna screw me over right now? Is this the point? Like, I'm about to finish this game. I'm about to beat the last boss. All right, here we go. A couple more attacks left. Dun 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 dun. Run, mother. Like running away, hating life. But it also leads to some of the most amazing moments of me coming back from a run, getting it, like, not being dead in this fight, and then managing to pull off the win from the boss fight. It leads to some really amazing moments, and even though it kind of is a I don't want to say, I'm thinking of the right word. I'm thinking like MacGuffin is what's coming to my head.
MacGuffin.
But it's
I don't think that's the word.
No, but even though it's like a what most people view as like a distraction, or it's just it's a bit. It's something that you're just gonna do for fun, and it's got no relevance to the game. It's 100% turned into like a meme of that's part of my social contract with my viewers that this is gonna happen. This is something I'm gonna do.
How does that song go again?
I don't know. Oh, I only heard the beginning. Wait, why is it so quiet? What in the world is going on?
What happened?
What kind of? It's like a completely different song.
No, it's not. It's the same one.
Yeah, what?
That was a different song.
Did you hear the same thing
I
I did?
I heard it was like gloopy and weird.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it was all gloopy and weird.
Gloopy and weird.
Those are technical terms for audio flunks. All right,
yes, exactly.
Well.
Yeah, because it did like the intro, and then there's like a 2 second, 3 second break. It said run, and then it sounded like. I was like, what?
It's not what I was hearing on this end. But oh shoot, hold on. Oh no, stop also.
Run.
It's still not dropping the bass.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might be just a volume issue. That's what I think it is.
Okay,
because it's coming through.
Okay,
it was coming through my soundboard, but yeah. I'll
But
have to
yeah,
fix
I
that
mean, I
later.
know we kind of talked about a lot of stuff on that, and of just kind of like how I solidified, again, solidify my brand, and it's not changed much. It really hasn't. If it has, I'd love to hear some feedback from y'all. But I'm on the cusp of, you know, basically putting my money where my mouth is, and I've been thinking of a complete rebrand.
Mm.
Bum bum bum.
Well,
It's gonna be
Zealous, if you ever need some help with some artwork, I mean, you've got two people that are pretty, kind of a big deal
no,
in that
I know.
aspect. We can
It's
definitely help you with that.
so the it's just the money where my mouth is. Actually, it's not even Mark III.
Mark III
What I think I
confirmed.
would do, like if I rebrand, I'm gonna do a complete name rebrand too.
Oh.
And I think I'll just go ahead and I will inhabit the body of Trollios.
Okay. So, are we going to be discussing this little bit, this idea of yours a little bit here? I mean, because I think you've mentioned publicly once or twice here, at least several times, that you
Yeah,
actually have been thinking about going the VTuber route.
I 100% have.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the delay is really kind of putting a lot of time and thought into what do I think the best virtual persona would be.
Mm.
Um, part of me says, the part of me that's like, just do it, like do it now, is definitely biting at the, just go in, work with getting the character design, character animated stuff like that.
Mhm.
But there's also a part of me that says wait, get your money together, and get the one that you think is going to be the best to start with.
Mm.
Mhm.
So for those of y'all who might follow VTubers, there is a VTuber named I think it's Zenyatta, and I'm sure Kage will correct me if I'm wrong on the pronouncing of her name. But Zen, she's a dragon. Uh, her her persona is 100% animated. She can stay when she stands up, her character stands up. When she moves around, her character moves around.
Mhm.
Now she does have, I think, some buttons she has to press for some different expressions, facial expressions. So I don't know how much that the capture is catching like her face, other than catching her smiling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if I go that route, I can keep run. I can keep some of the other stuff that we already do
Right. Right.
because it'd be full motion capture stuff like that. In talking with Deaths, if I go with more of a standard character, I could do for the run. I would just simply probably have some sort of animation that like an animated video that would come up, and it'd be Trollios running from a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I'm already picturing it like 8-bit Mario style. Oh, it'd be
Well,
so good.
just a little bit of
Oh.
insight with the software that I use for
Right.
animating our trolls. You can actually set up those animations with a push button.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so like if you have a sequence, you can actually hit the button and it'll actually do that animated sequence. So
Oh,
you
cool.
can actually have it like Trillios zoom out, like for a full body experience, so you can see the full body, and then have him run, and then it'll bring in, like, you can have monsters coming in behind him like he's running away from monsters or something. So whatever you want to do, you can actually set that up. You'll have to do the animations, but then once the animation's done, all set up like that, you just hit one button and it'll play that animation.
Oh, cool.
And
I
it's
can already see
pretty.
it. The
It's
monsters
pretty.
coming out of the background. Underneath it has a subtitle chat.
And it's pretty. It's pretty smooth on how they do it. So yeah.
But no, it's something I've been playing around with the idea with now for about, again, probably about 5-6 months, or
Mhm.
maybe it's been longer than that. Maybe, do you think it's been a year?
Mhm.
Mm, yeah, early into the pandemic.
Yeah, it's and it is, but it's also, again, it's not cheap. Even
No.
even with great artist friends,
No.
it's going to be a lot of work, and it's not
Mm.
going to be cheap. And I'm sure the one I'm thinking of is probably like the full body 3D animation is going to be somewhere around about, it's going to be thousands, I
Well, and so
imagine.
to get art files set up in the way they need to be for the more expensive like rigging software that matches facial expressions really well. Now, the one that Sid uses, I've been really shocked at the quality of. It's been really good as
Hmm.
far as what I've seen him messing around with. But for the ones of the quality that I believe VTubers are better known VTubers are using, uh, it takes so much setup in the program because you're typically using Live 2D, I think, and I've done a little fiddling with it, and it's insane how much like just
Yeah,
precision of like overlaying with these meshes and stuff on top of the art you have to do. And so like Zelos knows some artists, but those artists don't know how to do the rigging that really is required for a high quality rig.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like
yeah, you have to go professional on that one. So I know like there's a VTuber named Snuffy,
Yeah.
who's a raccoon girl. She uses the Apple iPhone uh
Oh yeah.
facial
Well, uh,
software on that one. I don't know how she does her hand because her hand comes up and does
yeah,
stuff
it's probably just a mocap. Like I said, or not
possibly.
mocap. It's something in the software that when she
And
moves her hands around.
then there's the Code Miko route,
mhm.
which
Code Miko facial capture, all of her expressions and everything are all tied into that same iPad. She uses that
right.
same
Well,
that
I
same
think she also has like a headset that comes and like holds the phone in front of
Yeah, she
her.
just made it.
Yeah, yeah. But no,
She
but
just made it.
her body tracking is a mocap suit that you can
Yeah,
buy. But
it's like
I
5 grand,
I
6 grand.
think I think that's about how much it is. It's
So
insane.
many monies.
Yeah. So and that's not even talking about the software
Yeah.
Well,
aspect of it. So, yeah.
yeah, the cost of getting that avatar made and designed and rigged.
And
Like they're just talking, yeah, the cost of the suit itself, the tracking, yeah.
I even saw a video. I don't know how old the video was, but she can actually her avatar can get up from the desk that she's at and walk around. She basically has a dungeon and a castle and like it's like this weird apartment. She can go out the door and she said she's having it made. She said she's having it made and it's going to be like a kind of a GTA style where she can walk around outside
Hmm.
and like she doesn't physically have to walk around, but she goes into like a controller mode and can
Mm.
do it, and then she can walk around her like her whole her environment. It's pretty
Hmm.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
she's been experimenting with that. She's got where now she can get up, give her character a gun,
Yeah,
and because she added something where chat comes in like Pepe's, like chat can if they donate enough, they can be inserted into the game as like a Pepe
yeah.
Mm.
and like wander around. And so she has it where she goes Pepe hunting. It just takes out people in chat.
Oh
I
my
love.
goodness.
I do love, and this is all branding too. I mean, but I do love that, like when she's doing her interviews. I've seen a couple of interviews where the guy goes, "What was that?" The guy just appeared around there, and she goes, "Don't worry about that."
Yeah,
she, don't just and she just like just doesn't even turn to don't worry about it. Don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it.
about that.
Yeah, and you
yeah.
just see like this guy just in a box going in the
Have you ever
background.
seen her doing interviews where somebody where they rain sausage on her?
No, I haven't seen that.
She added a new bit donate where you donate and it causes a sausage explosion. And so she'll sit there and be talking, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, she made it where it sticks to her face. So like, there was one time she had like 4 sausages coming out of her mouth. And the person's like, "What the hell's on your face?" And same thing, just don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it. It's
about
fine.
it.
It's fine.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
It's
Just
natural.
keep the interview going. Don't worry about it. Just
We're still talking.
Oh
yeah.
man.
But no, I mean that is honestly a great example of how to brand.
Oh
And
god,
just,
yeah.
that is definitely a great example on how to do that. Yeah,
No, it is.
Absolutely.
Again, her entire show. Actually, I should say just about most VTubers' entire
yes,
show are master classes in branding.
Mhm.
And I think that's one thing that's really good about, or one thing that's really compels me about VTuber. So, like on my channel, like I said, I've done a great job of inhabiting Zelos
hmm
turned up to 11. Like in my day to day life, well, you guys know I go on random rants. I sometimes make stupid jokes.
What?
But I'm not near as like just hanging out in Discord. I'm hardly ever as extreme as I am on my show.
Unless you send him the right stuff in DMs. Which sounded a lot different in my head than it came out.
Des has a habit of finding news articles that she knows are button press issues to make Zealous go on instant rants. And which that's something too. Just for my regular show, I've started thinking about doing is just incorporating more just talking, but or not just talking, just chatting. But I think for our first section here, we've the first segment of where have we gone on our own personal brandings may have run a little long.
It's all right. No,
No,
we're fine.
I think it's all been on brand.
It has.
However, it might be that time for a quick break. I know I need to stretch. I need to go get some water. I need to make some water.
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 What? All
So,
right.
what do you guys think?
10-minute crafts.
10-minute break.
5-minute crafts.
Yeah. 10-minute. We're gonna do a 10-minute video of 5-minute crafts. That'll be fine.
All right, guys. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now. It's time to stretch and fetch. See what's cooking at our refreshment counter. You'll find your favorite foods and beverages, plus many new goodies to tempt your appetite and add to your evening's pleasure. Everything's the finest quality. So treat yourself now. Nine minutes to go to showtime. Popcorn, rich with hot melted butter. All kinds of candy. Sparkling soft drinks. Steaming hot coffee. Steamed or grilled hot dogs. Crispy hot fresh French fries. Minutes to go to showtime.
I'm sorry, sir. This is a private mountain.
But I only wanted it.
This mountain is reserved for patrons.
But
It's a supply depot for all sorts of good things, which people can get at the snack bar. like soft drinks, candy bars of all kinds, delicious popcorn, and refreshing ice cream treats.
But I am a patron of...
Well, why didn't you say so? Be our guest.
Seven minutes to go to showtime. Hot popcorn, just pop. Fresh roasted peanuts. How about a pizza? None better anywhere. Sizzling hamburgers grilled to your taste. We've a large assortment of freshly made sandwiches. Minutes to go to showtime.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
I'd like 2 of those, please.
Hot dogs? Yes, sir.
And 3 of those. And 1 of those. And 5 bars of these. And a cup of that nice hot liquid.
Coffee. Coming right up.
Oh, and 2 bags of those peculiar white coffee material.
You mean our crunchy popcorn? Shall I wrap that for you, sir?
Oh, that's all right. My saucer's just outside.
They come from miles to enjoy our intermission.
To go.
Hello there. Give the demonstration of my new invention, the goodies machine. The machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you.
Four minutes to go to showtime.
As everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Brother, I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Nathan is better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here, no.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
The crowds are thinning out at the snack bar, folks, and there are still 3 minutes till showtime. You can easily make it for something that'll just hit the spot. How about it? Don't waste a second of refreshment time. You'll find such an appetizing assortment of refreshments at the snack bar, you won't be able to decide what to ask for first. All of your snack bar favorites are there, including fresh peanuts, hot popcorn, and candy of all kinds. And believe us, you've never eaten better hot dogs, crisper French fries, or more delicious buttered popcorn. to go to the snack bar for a quick refresher before showtime. No crowds to buck, just go get it. You'll be sorry you missed your chance to enjoy some of the many tempting goodies waiting for you. Stretch your legs now while the stretching's good. There's still time to get a mouth-watering hot dog, a sparkling ice-cold soda, assorted flavors of ice cream, all kinds of candy, the most delicious steaming hot coffee you ever drank, and freshly popped popcorn piping hot. Make a beeline for the snack bar right now to quench your thirst. One minute left to top off the evening with a treat from our snack bar. Still time if you hurry. Last call for refreshments, folks. Go right this second to get something good to eat and drink to enjoy now or during the rest of the show. The finest quality ingredients are in the fixins of the delicious foods you'll find waiting to tempt your appetite at the snack bar. Extra special good hamburgers, wonderful donuts, ice-cold thirst-quenching drinks. Pizza generously sliced, steaming hot, fresh coffee, ice cream in many flavors.
I'm gonna play it safe about the potential concussion I got, and
hello.
try to. Hi.
Hi.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
It just kind of cuts right off there.
No.
We're talking about why Des can't drink right now because of her potential concussion. And
All right,
fun
good
facts: don't drink alcohol if you've got a concussion because it could really mess up healing. And also, don't take ibuprofen or aspirin.
Yep. Des does not want permanent drain damage.
I just spilled half my cup of water on myself.
What?
I went to take
now?
a drink and it just went. I'm covered in water.
That's a good question. How often do y'all have moments where you just like are gonna be like eating something and you just miss?
So
Oh,
I do actually have a drinking problem. And it's due to the fact that I had surgery on my jaw. So I actually had I had a very bad underbite, which was like this, right? So what they did was they took my top jaw, took it off, and moved it forward, right?
Oh.
So I have a lot of implants that are holding these together, and it's all healed now. But yeah, my top jaw, 15-ish or so. And so with this being moved, my entire jaw being moved, I actually have a problem swallowing. Like something. So if it's like a really dry cake or something like that, I have a hard time swallowing that cake. So it makes it hard to do that. And if I'm drinking, I sometimes just spill all over myself. So, and it just happens. So I have what I call a drinking problem, where it literally spills all over my face. So yes,
I don't have a surgical reason I do that. I just.
That's his hands. Just think, hey, the body's thirsty. Just go for it.
Thirsty. Well, also I have like.
We're gonna hydrate you through osmosis. Just there you go.
I have like an overactive gag, like a little reflex in my throat. That the one that switches between your breathing hole and your swallowing hole.
Right.
And mine will just switch at random, without me, like trying to. And so halfway through drinking, it'll just switch, and I'll start inhaling whatever I'm drinking, and it will physically go into my lung, and then I have to like stand there for a minute while I like force liquid out of my lung. Because I don't know if you guys have felt the sensation of water literally being in your lung when it shouldn't be.
I have.
But this happens to me more often than I would like.
That is somewhat horrifying.
That is very.
It's awful because you can't breathe for that moment because there's liquid in your lung, and you gotta like, and you can't just like swallow it.
Right.
It's gotta come out.
I was just thinking. See, in my head, my head, I was thinking like Des is taking a sip, and then without by no account of her own, she's like reliving the scene from Abyss where everybody's getting the liquid oxygen pumped into their.
Oh my god. That stuff is real, by the way.
Yeah.
That liquid.
Oh yeah, there is a liquid that you can breathe in. Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's real.
A highly oxygenated fluid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
That's horrifying.
It's
to
not
me.
used very often, but it is real.
Yeah.
It sounds
I
terrifying.
don't think we have a really good medical reason to use it. I think it can prevent.
No, it helps. It helps with the pressurization. That's why they used it in Abyss.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like,
To equalize the pressure.
what do they call that when you explode from coming from underwater?
Bends.
The bins. Yes.
The exploding water thing
Mm-hmm.
that happens.
Exploding.
Yeah. Exploding water.
Anyways,
thing.
welcome back to Streamer and Troll. We just went off on a tangent for about good 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there.
It happens. It happens. Look, Jess drowning herself is 100% on brand. It's
On
fine.
brand, on brand. Cheers. Speaking
On
of
brand downstream, Jess accidentally kills herself by drinking. That's horrible. I'm sorry. That just sounds like a very unpleasant experience.
Wait, are we,
It is an unpleasant experience. I don't recommend it.
Des, are we drinking from our mugs at the same time now? Is this what?
Well, I decided to copy you as close as I could.
I unfortunately I had finished my tea. I have gone on to my my Wendigo mug.
Tiki cup.
Yep, gone on to a tiki with water.
And for those of you who would love some Streamer and Troll merch, I believe there's a link down below. You can get yourself some T-shirts, some mugs, and all of that great product helps support us.
Yeah,
and stuff like
it's
that.
a link in the panels if for some reason you really want that in your life.
Yeah, why not? You know.
Which is also an excellent form of branding, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking of forms of branding,
Speaking of branding.
I don't know where I'm going with this transition.
So,
all right,
we had a couple different ideas. Des, you want to give us lay your ideas on us?
all right, ladies and gents of the podcast. Today we are going to talk about Pokimane and her hot tub stream, and how this is related to some excellent branding.
So, I think a good start on this, again, something I didn't really bring up when we were talking about it earlier, is Pokimane had actually talked out and not been a fan of the whole hot tub stream meta.
That's what I thought, and now I'm confused that she went ahead and did one.
Well, so let's take a second to talk about that.
Okay.
So Twitch is somewhat nefarious for its terms of service.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody. Well, I shouldn't say I don't think. If you're new to Twitch, if you're new to the whole experience, there's a number of times that Twitch has done some things that are kind of questionable and sometimes inconsistent in how it deals with certain topics. One is like, when something is too mature for Twitch. When is it too mature? Oftentimes you'll have some streamers who are always going to try to push that line as close as they can to not get permabanned, but still be within the guidelines.
Right.
So this includes like streaming in bikinis. For a while they had a lot of guys who were doing like, or not guys, but they had, well, no, it's guys were doing like topless streams and stuff like that. And Twitch was like, nips are a no-go. Men or women, no nips. So
Right.
it was like, it was a long time. It was like, was it or not? They didn't have a lot of clarity, and they're always kind of patching their terms of service. The issue is hardly anything is hard defined. The only thing that they've really been like very consistent on here recently is at least hard defining language. So they had terms that folks were using for a while, like, God, should I even say it? Or
No.
It's fine to just say it as talking about the term, isn't it?
I wouldn't risk it.
Okay. So there was a specific term that was used for guys who have very intense parasocial relationships with female streamers that give high donations, do a lot of gift subs and all this stuff as part of their relationship, and they banned that term. They've had, so they're pretty consistent about how those terms are utilized, but as far as actions and what people do, they're really really loose about, and it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. So
the other thing,
one of the
just
go ahead.
Just another thing that I need to get off my chest is when they do act on these things, when Twitch does act on these TOS violations, they don't tell you. They give you no communication. Your stream is just off, and say they don't even I don't know how it is now, but because I was banned. I was banned once, maybe twice. And they don't give you. I didn't get any notification why. There's no explanation, and it's especially like when you don't even realize you are. I would like to know. Hey, I like at least an email said, hey, you violated this, and this the terms of service. Okay, good. I know not to do that again. Right? Mm-hmm. They don't do that. They don't tell you anything about that. So. Anyways, go ahead.
So, with this being the case, and streamers really wanting to skirt as intense as they can, or as close as they can to the point of like ban, there's a few streamers that are kind of notorious for this. One of which, and again, the story kind of involves these two streamers. One person who kind of embraces this is a streamer named Amaranth. And somehow or another,
she keeps coming back.
She was going through the terms of service, and she realized that while wearing like a bathing suit, a very skimpy bathing suit on stream normally is a bit too much, and you run the risk of getting banned, that streaming in a hot tub's perfectly fine. Like if you're in a bathing suit in a hot tub, situationally, it makes sense. So you can totally wear some skimpy bathing suits in a hot tub, and it's okay on Twitch. It's perfectly fine.
You know what this reminds me of? Happy Days.
What?
Do you know?
What?
Do you know the situation I'm talking about?
No.
So, Arthur Fonzarelli was not in the who owned Happy Days. What was the producer? Was it CBS or TBS or whatever it was? Wherever it was, whatever the channel was, had certain stipulations that Arthur Fonzarelli was not allowed to wear a leather jacket. So the very first couple of episodes you see Fonz in Happy Days, he's wearing a sweatshirt. Gray Marshall, I think, was CBS. Okay, yeah. Okay. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt, but it didn't make any sense because he was supposed to be, a bad boy, right?
Yeah.
So the reasoning of this was CBS did not want to condone the act of being in a gang because wearing a leather jacket meant that you were in a gang affiliate association, whatever.
Okay.
The loophole was you could wear a leather jacket if you were riding a motorcycle, because the leather jacket was an equipment of safety.
Yeah.
Right.
So what the directors and the filmers did was, anytime during that whole thing, anytime that Fonz was wearing the leather jacket, there was a motorcycle in that scene. And he was standing next to it or beside it. So they got around the censorship and making him, because there's like, we can't have this character if he's not wearing a leather jacket. It just doesn't make sense, right? So it's like, so they get around it. They put a motorcycle in every. He always had a helmet in the hand too. They put a motorcycle in those scenes, and then after the first season, they were like, oh well, whatever. You can wear the leather jacket, and they just kind of gave in after that. So this reminds me exactly. It's like, you can wear a bathing suit as long as you're in a hot tub.
Yeah,
exact same situation.
So it's 100%. I mean, that really is a very good one-to-one similarity. And but yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, okay, so now it's these again the primarily female streamers. I've seen some male streamers start trying to go with the meta as well. It became, if you wanted to have a bit of a risque stream, it'd be fine as long as you did it in a hot tub. Up to and including Code Miko. Code Miko, who we talked about before, is a VTuber,
Yep.
had her character do a couple hot tub streams. It's just
It's
again,
ridiculous.
it's kind of become a joke, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it really is part of what made Amaranth start really flying up in the ratings again. Is her exploitation of this. So, Pokimane, for those of y'all who don't know Pokimane, arguably the number one female streamer on Twitch. Actually, it goes between Pokimane and Amaranth quite often. Like they're right at neck and neck at the top.
Third is Des.
Right.
Huh? Third is death.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh God.
And,
So
and then
they're-
Sidious right after that.
Yeah.
Number one top
Exactly.
female streamer.
Exactly. That's serious. God bless. But yeah, so Pokemon had talked out like just the ridiculousness of like you're gonna ban people for wearing bathing suits, but it's okay if they're in a hot tub. Like how stupid is this? It's like how ridiculous is this? So what they ended up doing is Pokemon ended up deciding that for her birthday, she was gonna do her stream with her friends from Offline TV. Offline TV is a group YouTube channel, includes other streamers. So this is basically Pokemon and a number of other streamers all live in the same house. They do group activities, they do individual shows, they work together, they collab, living in the same house to do Twitch and YouTube content. So it's if you guys have never checked it out, I recommend it. It's really entertaining, and there's a bunch of crazy shiz that happens. In this case, though, Pokemon did a hot tub stream, and it just absolutely shattered all kinds of records. I think they got somewhere around like 2,500 subs in just a couple hours of the stream to start with.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's just insanity the number of stuff that they got out of it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
They surpassed 100,000 viewers.
Jeez.
Like concurrent viewers while it was going on. Some of the funny things that were kind of meta to it was Pokimane and a number of the other members of Offline TV House. They all got shirts. They like it's like, all right, here's our big reveal for the hot tub stream. So again, so like she was talking about, she's like, oh, I've got my skimpy swimsuit on. Here we go. She takes off her robe, and it's just a T-shirt with like a female body painted on it that's in a bikini.
Nice.
And so that was the meme of their bikinis, like all the ladies on the stream's bikinis. One of the other probably most popular male streamers, Disguised Toast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know of him or not. Kind of took over the Among Us streams for a while. He actually got a skin tight bodysuit that was like ripped with muscles. And he just wore like an open front Hawaiian shirt the whole time. Another popular streamer, Michael Reeves, also more popular on YouTube, I think, than his stream is. He's the one who, I don't know if you've seen it recently, it went viral. He made a robot dog that could piss beer into a cup. And took it back to Boston Dynamics to make it pee on Boston Dynamics, which is fucking genius. It's so ridiculous. But he went out there to get around the no nip thing. He actually just taped. He put like electrical tape, like in a big X on him. I mean, they basically did everything that they could to skirt the line.
Right.
It even had some jokes about had some jokes about other things in the past, like they were bottling their gamer water in like pint jars and just closing the lid.
Oh my
Gamer
gosh.
water.
So I mean, it was just over the top, and it memed or made jokes about all the other, pop culture or Twitch culture jokes about naughty streamers, if you want to put it that way. And apparently it did freaking amazing. At the same time though, they also had, like 10 people, like 8 to 10 people on stream who all have massive Twitch followings. Who are well known in Twitch and YouTube and various other social sites. All together having fun, joking around on this one stream that was actually a birthday stream. And it just, again, they just shattered everything, memeing it up, which is one funny way to say, okay, it was a hot tub stream, because it was definitely a hot tub stream, but it was kind of the anti hot tub stream in the way that they handled it.
So, are we gonna have a hot tub at TrollCon 2022?
I mean, we certainly can. I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to see, Zealous with his big tubby belly hanging out.
I was actually just picturing like setting up a hot tub, and like one of us would be there live, right? Whoever it is that's doing this would be live. And then the other two people would be on a TV screen that's set a little bit behind the hot tub, so it looks like they're in the hot tub, but they're not. They're just on a TV screen,
I love it.
Are you just uncomfortable sharing a hot tub with anybody else? Is that
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about respecting COVID and the 6 foot social distancing thing, and just having you guys on the you on the screen, just on the screen.
Would the person also tape like medical masks to the screen right above your face?
If I am able to do if I am able to do that, I will do that. I will.
No, even better. Just have like 2 speakers, like a speaker under each TV, and then have the mask wrapped around the speaker.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, hell, by that time, but again, by 2022.
No, I'm not even talking about 2022. I'm talking about like tomorrow or something.
Oh,
like that.
Tomorrow! Jesus Christ! I don't have access to a hot tub.
Neither do I. Neither do I. No.
But about by 2022, we should all have shots. We should all have our shots by then. We should all be, in good shape by then, right? Right?
Sure, Zealous.
Now we just have to find a massive hot tub.
I'll have access to a hot tub in 1 week at my in-laws' house.
Oh, there you go. But yeah,
they'll be really confused if I set up for this.
Actually, no, Titri's right. My parents do have a hot tub, but it's outside. But it's one of those integrated into the pool thing.
Into the pool. Okay.
Yeah, I could totally set that up.
All right, TrollCon 2022, Twitch's Sid's parents' house. Let's go.
Let's go. Who are all these people? I don't know.
Is this just some kind of weird flash mob thing? I don't know, Mom. I don't know.
Showed up. If that actually,
people trying to fit into our hot tub.
Honestly, if that actually happened, where we actually got people together to come together, my mom would try to probably bake hors d'oeuvres and everything for everybody, and it would be just.
Dude, that sounds like a plan.
It would be just way too much.
TrollCon at Sid's parents' house. Free snacks.
Hey, I can see the conversation just now. Hey, Mom, yeah, I've got a group of people coming over. Do you mind if we use your house for like we're gonna be respectful. We'll have like a little party, And he's like, oh, that sounds lovely. How many people are coming? 152, maybe, give or take. I don't know. Maybe.
Also, we're gonna set up some tables, sell some merch. Don't worry about it.
We'll sell
Yeah,
some merch.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that
If
would
you
be fun.
register in advance, you
then-
get a goodie bag.
I send out 152 plus invitations, and 5 people show up. That'd be.
Actually, I really, as much as we talk about TrollCon, I really am like pumped about the idea. I think it would be a lot of fun, and I definitely think it's something that we kind of need to do.
Okay. We'll start talking about it then.
Yeah,
We'll start planning it. Sure.
I really do. I think it'd be a blast if we planned like, okay, a day or one day at Disney, one day at Universal.
One day in the hot tub
Yeah, one day in the hot tub.
to recover from these places.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, and who knows how many people would show up.
We
but
could
it'd
all
be,
go to that Chinese buffet.
Oh my god. No, I don't need any more mahi mahi from that place. Thank you.
Oh my!
And the mahi mahi was actually octopus.
Octopus.
Oh.
No, or actually, it'd be all of us go to that really nice ramen shop.
Ooh.
Oh,
That place.
Susaru? Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
be
fun.
like, yeah, we need like a reservation for 20.
Yeah. And if you're out of country and you're coming to, we go to Player One bar. Just remember, bring your passport because they won't let you in without your passport. Sorry, Marvel Maven.
Oh no!
Sorry. Yeah, they wouldn't let her in.
Aw.
They wouldn't let her into Player One. And she's like, I'm not going all the way back to my hotel to get my passport out of my safe to come to this bar. That's the stupidest thing.
I don't blame her.
She had ID. She had her country's ID, her identification, and he still wouldn't let her in. So
Well, again, just depends on how strict some places want to be with their
it's so stupid.
with their age verification.
Very, very stupid.
Like I know for my business in Tennessee, they better show some form of ID when they get a drink.
Some form of ID, not a passport. Come on.
Not specifically.
She had her ID. Because it wasn't a U.S. citizen ID.
That's continuing the meta.
Wait, what did I miss?
We're killing Des. Oh yes.
Oh no.
We have tea in the lungs, boys. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
You okay, Des?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We don't need you. We don't need you with a concussion and drowning.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so again, back to the topic. So, what a better way to take one of the loudest or most recognizable voices of Twitch, and to use their brand to bring up the absurdity of some of the rules on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's just wild to me how nebulous some of this stuff is. It's basically it really is almost just stream if you think hope it's in bounds, and if it isn't, you're gonna get banned, and it's just something you kind of gotta it's almost to the point you just gotta accept it.
Yeah.
It's kind of that way with their music policies right now too.
Right.
In the fact that it's can you play music? Should you play music? Do you play without music? It's relevant right now with the new release of Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
That Mass Effect, the music from the game is copyright. Like people uploading on YouTube can't upload their playthrough stuff now because the music is copyright struck by Universal Media.
Mm.
And with them, or I think it's Universal, I think it is. So so people are paranoid, like they can't do it. Like almost everybody I saw streaming the game was doing without the in-game audio, because they know the VOD's going to get muted, or if somebody clips it, that clip could get them copy struck
Now,
for music.
I've also seen some ridiculousness where the creators of the music play their own music and they get banned.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's even more ridiculous. It's their own music.
it is. But the question is, do they own it? So if they have, so a lot of musicians in their contracts, they sign over the rights to the music to the distributor. So they'll sign it over to Sony or something like that.
But people like Deadmau5, he owns his music.
Yeah, the independent, the indies. So like, what is it? Robot? Is it is it Ninja Sex Party?
I don't remember.
Is one of the bands. It's like an indie band,
right?
And they basically told everybody, "Hey, you can use our music. We're indie. We're not on any labels. You can use our music." They've had some people, some big name celebrities, be like, "Hey, you can use my music on your streams. It's fine." But the problem is when you do it, you still get that strike, or you still get notified, because the label owns the music, not the musician.
Right.
And that's a huge problem. And there's days, as much as I like Pretzel Rock, or there's one that's like Rocket Cat, or some of the other music labeling where it's music that's stream safe. There's times I just want to listen to Nine Inch Nails and play a game.
Well, and then using those things doesn't guarantee your stream's not going to get muted, even if you don't get a strike. Exactly. So, like, I've been using Twitch Soundtrack, Twitch's own thing, and parts of my VODs are still getting muted.
No, I think
I'm like, what is the point using your crap if you're going to mute my VODs anyway?
Well, true.
Yeah.
And again, that also applies into, this all applies to, what do you want to have on your show? What do you want your branding to be? Music music, in my opinion, should be part of the show.
Yes.
It should be. Playing a game and not being able to use any of the music whatsoever. That's like, I've been seeing people play Grand Theft Auto 5. And they only play with the talk radio station on, because all the other music is copyrighted,
right,
and can get them banned.
Right, absolutely.
And that just takes out. But again, that takes out the entire feel of the game. It doesn't
the
feel
immersion
like you're
of the
playing
game.
Yeah, doesn't feel like you're playing in like a real world when you're driving around the city and there's just no audio. There's just no music playing. And it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating right now with that.
Or it's too real.
Or it's too real. I'm driving around the city in silence. My loneliness is my only friend.
I'm Batman. I'm dark and brooding.
Darkness.
I don't listen to the radio. Darkness. Alone. I'm so alone.
But it's again, originally, like I said, when 2 years ago, when it was like I could kind of play what I wanted, it getting muted.
And no one cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's what happened again. Essentially, what's happened is people started making enough money streaming that the music companies were like, well, we want our slice of the pie now.
Right.
And they started coming hard with knives out. And Twitch just wasn't ready.
I think wasn't it also Metallica again came out?
I don't think it was specifically Metallica. I think this is much more
making waves again.
I think this is much more of like MSI and Sony and the major distributors coming together.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to blame Metallica anyways. They were the cause of Napster, and now this. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's over the top. I think there are ways that Twitch could put together some kind of program, and it'd be stuff that we wouldn't be happy with, because as a streamer,
oh, absolutely,
they would 100% expect us to foot the bill for getting the licenses to the music. But the way that these groups have their licenses set up, they just don't really have any understanding of how streaming works.
And they don't care. They don't care. They don't care to learn how streaming works.
And Titchery made a comment. It says, Comrade, thou art a heartless bitch. That's a true statement right there, especially for the music industry, because the reason that they're pushing so hard for this licensing now is because nobody's listening to the radio.
No.
You don't have to get with a label for people to hear you anymore.
It's all Spotify. It's all Spotify.
Yeah.
It's all Pretzel Rock.
Yeah, you don't
it's
have
all...
to buy your music anymore to have access to a massive
Apple
library.
Apple Music. It's all and
direct to consumer.
And a lot of record labels are not getting the business now because a lot of new bands can just release it on YouTube.
Yeah, and not have to pay, not have to get a 10% commission of total sales. That's the other thing. Like these groups, when they get out here, is they do like you sign, and it's like, okay, we'll give you 10% of commission on sales, and it's like you mean you're getting 90 cents out of every dollar somebody spends, and I get 10 cents. Well, yeah, but we're gonna get you selling millions of records. This is what we do. We make stars. We get millions of records.
You don't need that anymore. Don't need it anymore.
No, you don't. I think the only person that I remember seeing having like a positive label experience was only from when I watched the Ray Charles movie, where he ended up getting like 75% from the label. So out of every dollar he got to keep 75%, 70 cents, and that's just unheard of. That's just unheard of.
No, it's actually kind of interesting. I was listening to the Bert Kreischer and Bill Burr podcast, and they talk a lot about their past as upcoming comics and getting into the game of being a comic. And they were talking about, I mean, if you like him, if you don't like him, Dane Cook. Dane Cook, very, very successful comedian. And also one of the first comedians in our era to really embrace the technology of social media and stuff like that. And they were talking about how like these old timers were going, oh no, you need to have your agent do this. You need to book this, book that, put this, and Dana Carvey. I just totally blanked
Dane
on
Cook.
Dane Cook. Thank you. Dane Cook would go like, no, that's not how I'm doing it. Give me 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. He went on his social media and said, hey, I'm doing a gig down here. This is what's what. And in 30 minutes to an hour, he had that place packed and filled without going through the third man agency and doing all this. And then like Bill Burr was just going, it just blew his mind. It literally blew his mind that he was able to do this. And people used to like when Dane Cook was just starting out, people were going, oh, this social media stuff it's not relevant. It's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything for you. And he was the first one,
didn't understand it.
First comedian to embrace all that and to understand how it works, and was able to just book things like instantly, like sold out instantly without using these third middle men. And that's kind of how these record labels are getting into it. They're being shoved out of existence because theoretically artists don't need them anymore. They really don't. They really, really don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear my cat.
Carson. Yeah, no, it's wild, and being adaptable for that kind of thing also, and seeing that potential with outcoming technology, I think also takes its own amount of talent, I suppose, to see like, oh, here's an opportunity, I gotta use it, to be able to see the natural integration of that. And I think about all of the the fame and acclaim that's been happening for some individuals on TikTok, and how I've seen them just explode all over the internet. Right people, right place, right time, I guess, and they just are doing amazing things using this new platform, and I envy them because I feel like when I see a platform, I'm like, hold on, let me inspect it for a little bit, and I'll just think about it.
I think I'm back.
Oh, are you all right? You okay?
Yeah. My internet just went for a minute.
We didn't lose you, so.
Okay, okay.
As far as I know,
From our
he
end,
was
you were here the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to be able to like look at this new technology and be like, aha, I have a great idea.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
So I came back. I heard you talk about TikTok and right place, right time, and then the person just kind of blows up as a meme.
Mm-hmm.
About right?
Effectively, what? Yeah, it is. You said it better.
I think well, again that's something I pay attention to and kind of think a lot about is the times that I've seen right game, right person, right place, and all of a sudden they're a bottle rocket on Twitch and they're just growing.
Yeah.
I think about how that happened a bit with me on Twitch Sings. Again, I went from 300 followers to 900 followers in like 3 months.
Wow.
Thanks mostly to Twitch Sings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was the same way. I went from 2,000 to 8,000 in one day.
Hey, we can't help it that you've got an insane stalker, okay? This guy is just hell bent on trying to fuck you up. I'm sorry, but it's
okay.
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, the bots. Bots. Follower bots. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I got hit by follower bots almost on a regular basis now, so it's fun.
What's interesting, though, what's really interesting to me, though, is how that meta for popularity has changed. Specifically, Martin, if I'm thinking of the right comedian, Steve Martin. Let me make sure that I'm not thinking of somebody else. Yeah, Steve Martin put out a book a few years back. I think it's let me see what it's called so I can actually give you the right one. Born Standing Up. Yeah, Born Standing Up. He talks quite a bit about the formation of his comedy and where he got started in trying to do stand-up and everything, and then what the markers for success as a comedian were at his time, and the amount of time it took before he got to the peak of his popularity. And what was interesting is when he came out at the peak of his popularity, a lot of people were like, oh man, this guy's just blowing up on the scene. He's brand new. He's kicking trends. He's doing rad shit. But he had been a comedian for 10 years.
Right.
It's that magical year point that people talk
building
about.
that foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had spent like 10 years building that. What's interesting, though, is the way he kind of brings up where people were like, oh my God, he's blowing up on the scene, was like him being on the Johnny Carson show. Most comedians at the time, or if you guys are young enough, if you don't know the Johnny Carson show, it was a talk show. It was one of the late night talk shows, and essentially
it used to be he could make or break you.
Yeah.
He was the voice that said you are worth watching.
Yeah.
He was that era in time's Oprah.
Yeah. And the thing was, it was like people thought like, oh man, you're on the Johnny Carson show. You've made it.
And
they're gonna be like, you're gonna be blowing up. You're gonna be selling out stadiums, all this kind of stuff. And Steve Martin, he was on the Carson show 3 times before people started actually started recognizing who he was. And it was just fascinating to me of how, it's so much time, energy, and effort had to be put in, and then after a while, boom, there's your success. You've been doing it this long. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast recently where he was talking to another comedian whose name I can't remember, but he was talking about how if you're a road comic, it was the same thing. Like you perfected your act on the road, and had to trim it down to just the funniest stuff. And it takes years of getting noticed and stuff like that. And then comparing it to the YouTube comedians or the Twitch comedians or the folks who have these internet followings can sell out shows at comedy clubs. Like they just walk in, and they're not even stand-up comics. They're just
all they have to do is tweet out. They just tweet.
Yeah.
And then
And it's just so
sold out.
interesting. It's just so interesting again how these folks again how the transition has gone from so much time, energy, and effort and recognition to right person, right place, right click on the logarithm of YouTube, and pow, you're gone. You're in the stratosphere.
It's kind of interesting. Another comedian that you don't really even realize, Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel. I talk to people all the time about Howie Mandel, and they go, "Oh, he does comedy." They don't even know.
He started doing comedy.
That's where he got his roots from. That's where he started. And like, oh, I only know him from American Idol, or whatever it is. Yeah.
You know who's even better than that? Oh God, I just blanked out on his name. He is Full House. Is the guy from Full House?
Bob Saget.
Oh yeah.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
How many
Bob
people?
Saget.
How many people like watch stuff with Bob Saget and they're like, "Oh, he's so wholesome. He's so wholesome."
No,
dude, you watch any of his stand-up bits, and he is one of the bluest comics you will ever see.
Oh, he's got a potty mouth like no other.
What was hilarious? Is like once he stopped America's Funniest Home Video, once he stopped Full House, and went back to his roots of stand-up comedy, I forgot how unwholesome he is, and was going like, oh my God, Danny Tanner's saying all this stuff coming out of his mouth. What the hell is wrong? And I was like, oh wait, no, he's just going back to the roots of where he already started from. And
that's it.
Listening, he was actually a guest on the Bill Burr and Burt Kreischer podcast, and he talked about his past, and I didn't know how deep in the syndicate of comedy that Bob Saget is in. He is old school, and I had no idea how old school. He used to pal around with Bob Saget helped Sam Kinison get into the spotlight.
Really?
That
is old school.
That is super old school. He talks about how he introduced Sam Kinison to Rodney Dangerfield, and then Rodney Dangerfield, because he was part of Rodney Dangerfield's kind of clique at the time.
Yeah.
And like Rodney Dangerfield basically was like, "I'm sorry, kid, I like this guy," and kicked Bob Saget out. Didn't really kick him out, but kind of put him to the side and put Kinison on a pedestal and started getting him more exposed, and that's how Kinison got like really, really popular because he went into that group. It's crazy. If you haven't listened to the Bill Burr and the Bill Burt podcast, it's pretty good. It's literally just the two of them just bullshitting around the entire podcast. So.
I don't feel anything like that, similar like that at all.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, talk about a style of branding then. But yeah, Bob Saget, super old school.
So what gets me though is again in talking like a brand, I wonder how much struggle he had of like, okay, he's got this really wholesome persona, this really wholesome image
to get out of that typecasting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And especially when he just definitely wasn't it before, because like I remember a comedy show he was on before he started doing Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos, where he actually part of his bit was pulling out what he called the penis cam. It was a camera that he had in his pants. And he literally would go into the crowd and be like, do interviews holding this camera at hip level. And that was part. It was like, and on the screen they had the display of like how uncomfortable the person was. Like, okay, I guess I'm talking to this. Okay, yeah. It's like, and he goes from that to like, hi, I'm Danny Tanner. I'm Milquetoast Man.
Remember to brush your teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Brush 23 times before you spit, Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
Good times. Good times.
All right, so we've been going for about 2 hours. We're going to be going out. The last hour, holy cow, has just flown by.
It did really fly by fast.
It's been a lot. It's been an absolute blast on this one.
It's good to be back after a little bit of a break that we had.
Yeah.
It's good to
Yeah.
be back.
Yeah, and again, sorry for the last show. I had a bunch of things come up, and I had to, work is work. Work pays the
Sometimes
bill,
work
right?
happens.
Titchery, maybe he explains what went wrong with Mary-Kate and Ashley.
It might be.
There's
I don't
a
know.
lot of things that went wrong with Mary-Kate and Ashley, and
Well, how much can you say has gone wrong? I mean, they're multimillionaires. They own
this is
their
also
own
true.
they own their own
Fashionable.
companies, for God's
fashion,
sakes.
yeah, fashion company.
I mean, they have their successes. I mean, they have their demons. I ain't gonna say they don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look at two people who've at least survived the horror of childhood fame
Yeah.
Yeah.
and came out and managed to be, productive about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, they've managed to build success out of it, Titch. That's like in the music landscape with within the era of Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Pink. Pink, the one who seemed like was the most, who's going to be the most problem child at the time, as far as like her persona she put out there was.
Mm-hmm.
She's ended up to be like the most solid out of
Mhm.
all of those singers from that generation, and stable. Being able to put together a stable life with that level of success.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wild.
All right. Well,
In summary, you don't be fooled by what brands seem to be. Let's see, what's the moral of this story?
Don't be surprised by
so
the
whatever-
brand seems to be. Fuck you, Hunt's Ketchup. You're lying. Craft all the way.
well, yeah. If you take anything away from what we've been talking about today, just remember: just stay on brand, build your brand, stick with your brand, believe in your brand.
When you get started streaming, one of the things we talk about here, one of the most important parts of streaming is hit go live. Just press the button.
Always,
Just press the button.
always.
If you get to a point where you've been pressing the button and you're like, gee, why is nobody watching? Nobody's come in. If you haven't put thought into your brand, it is one of the most critical things that you can do. Because if you hit go live, you just turn the camera on and you're just playing games, that is your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And is that brand entertaining? Is that brand, what value does that brand have to other people to spend their time watching you? It's very important to take that consideration and ask those tough questions of yourself of, who am I? Why should people watch me? And then put focus on that of like, why should people watch me?
And always keep in mind that Rome wasn't built in a day. It was definitely built at night.
There's a
Built
day
at night.
and a night.
With
Also-
Mountain Dew and Frito-Lay.
Also, if your friends are your only viewers, your mom's your only viewer,
Hey,
that's perfectly okay.
that's great.
Ask them honestly, take your ego out of it, ask them for some criticism. The people who watch you, again, ask questions, because a lot of times we're blind to ourselves, and the only way that you can really push for improvement is to get some feedback. And of course, to get feedback, you got to take that ego and move it out of the way, because that ego is going to make you mad at things that people are going to say, be hurtful. My meme of always drinking a cup of milk when someone says milk. They love it. I mean, is it? I don't know. I keep doing run. I always ask myself, is run out of date? But
No.
people seem to enjoy it.
It's still good.
Gosh darn it, people like me.
Exactly.
Rich
Milk.
Wait, milk.
All right. Let's wrap things up here.
All right.
Thank you guys
again,
for
Eric-
watching us.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you guys for watching us. We will be back in 2 weeks again. That's going to be our show for today. Again, I'm City67.
I'm Des Westmoss.
And I'm Zealous Mark II.
And we're Streamer and Troll. Have a good night, guys.